Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Sewing with Toyin today. So today we're going to be making a ruched skirt. First and foremost, we're going to be drafting out our skirts, but before we do that, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my videos please, and share, drop your comments, okay, and I'll definitely get back to you. Subscription is free, nobody's going to charge you for it. Also like my comments as you're looking at it, just like the video. It takes a lot to make such videos, but also the liking also helps the algorithm so that they will know that okay, people like the videos, and when people are searching for things like maybe this ruched skirt, it will pop it up faster. So that's the reason why it's good to like our video. When you subscribe, it just makes you realize, it gives you a notification that oh, I've dropped a new video. Okay, so today, without further ado, we're going to start with our ruched skirt. We're first going to draft our basic skirt pattern. On this particular pattern, we're going to be drafting our front and our back skirt pattern. Okay, so we know that for our back skirt pattern, I'm first going to draft with pencil, make my markings with pencil. We're first going to be putting our zip allowance. Okay, I'm going to be putting my zip allowance, which is for the back. Don't worry, it's going to be a bit different, not different anyway, but just drafting the two sides on one sheet of paper. So this is my zip allowance. Okay, I've left 1.5 inches for my zip allowance. And remember, with this pattern, when you're putting on fabric, you fold into two. So write the zip allowance. Okay, then we're also going to be leaving another 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch after the zip allowance. We need this 1 inch for joining. Okay, because it's going to be a ruched skirt and we're going to be cutting them separately. We need this 1 inch for joining, so we'll put 1 inch after the zip allowance. Okay, and I will show you how we're going to use it. Okay, now we start our markings now. Okay, so we'll just write the joining allowance. After drafting this line, let me just use my marker to mark it down fast so that it will be more obvious. Joining allowance. We'll go in and take in all our measurements. We're going to be we'll leave like 1/4 inch here, 1/2 inch here for joining. This is going to be our starting point. Okay, so from here now we come down. The hip point is 9. Okay, and our knee point is 22. Then the length of the skirt is the full one here. So we'll come here and measure it out. This is our knee. And this is our hip measurement. Okay. So between the hip and the knee, we're going to take the mid length of this part here. We'll be taking the mid length of it. And we have 11, so that's 5.5, the midpoint. That place is up. This is where we're going to stop our ruching, or this is where we're going to start our ruching from that point upwards. This place, this is our hip, this is our knee, and this is our lap. Okay, so our measurements, we're going to take measurements for all this. So now our waist is 38. The waist is 38 inches, so we're going to be dividing it into 4. 38 divided into 4 is 9.5. okay, our hip divided by 4, we'll mark it out. 11.5. Then on the mid lap here, that is the midway, the lap between the hip and the knee length. You just take the measurement around there. Make sure the person will be able to walk a bit, even though the dress is going to have a slit at the back. For this particular person, it's 40, so we take 10 here. Okay, then the knee, at the length, at the bottom length of it, we're going to take it from the mid lap here. You can take it all the way down. Okay, so be marking the same measurement on the knee and at the hem of the dress. Okay, so we'll just join our markings together. We'll join our markings together, and there we go. Right here you can use your curved ruler to soften it, but we don't really need that because we're going to still be working on it. So as I said, this pattern is for the front and it's also for the back. So now we're going to go in now. What we want to do is that we want to make it a ruched skirt. So as we're making a ruched skirt, we're now going to sectionalize each of them. We're going to sectionalize it so it's going to give it volume, and we're going to be doing that from the waist part up to the lap right here. Okay, so how do we do that? We come here, you can sectionalize it as many times, as long as you can sectionalize it, as you can have as many strips as possible, but I'm going to just have a difference of 2 inches. I'm just going to be doing 2 inches. I just go down here and mark 2 inches. I'm going to draw, my ruler is going to draw all of that. That's down there. So I start from here again, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. So I come here and I use my ruler to mark it out. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is that, because I want, what we're planning to achieve here is to make sure that this side here is full, so by the time it's full, we'll ruche it up. Okay, it will now give that, it will form that semblance of the ruching. So that's why we're going to cut these lines. Okay, I'll cut them up to this point here, up to this point here. As I'm cutting it up to this point here, I'm now going to spread it because we're using the slash and spread method. So I'm going to go in now and bring my scissors and cut. Remember, we're not going to touch this place here. Okay, okay, good. So this is our pattern now. So now I'm going to bring out my strips. You don't cut, you just cut it up to this joining allowance here, because that allowance is what we're going to use to join it in the middle. So there we go. So now I'm going to take this now, okay, and I'm going to spread it on another brown paper. I've already slashed it now, so I'm going to spread this all out, because this is where I want the ruching at the hip here. Okay, this is where I want the ruching here at the hip here. But when I'm doing the front, I'll fold this in. Okay, when I'm doing the front, because the front does not have zip allowance, so I'll fold in the zip allowance. Okay, I'll fold in the zip allowance and only leave the joining allowance. Okay, I'll only leave the joining allowance. So this is what I am going to put on my brown paper, in other sheets of paper. Okay, and be able to form. Okay, and this is what I'm going to put on my other brown sheets of paper, and I'm going to trace it out. Okay, to be able to form my hip part side of this. So this is how it's going to be. Basically, this is how it's going to be, the ruching. Okay, so let's just go ahead and bring the brown paper so that we can put it on top and draw out this pattern. So here I am. This is the brown paper. I've already put the brown paper there. So here we go. I've already put the brown paper down and I've already spread our pattern. I'm spreading it gradually. So as you can see, I'm spreading it gradually because we slashed it up to the allowances there. So you just keep on spreading and spreading. It's not going to be straight again, but it's going to give us more. Okay, and here we go. You just try to make it consistent. The spaces in between, maybe like 1 inch or 1.5 inches, just try to make it consistent and stick it down because it tends to move. You just stick it down. Okay, then now we'll go in now and trace. We'll go in now and trace. Of course it's going to bend a bit. We'll go in now and trace out our pattern, what it has formed for us. Mark out the knee because this is the focal point. Okay, then we come to this part here and try to connect all our dots. We try to connect all our of them. Connect all of them till we get back at this part there. So that is it. We'll take the pattern off now. I stuck it down with masking tape. So we'll take the pattern off now and we'll cut out this particular pattern. So as I told you, this pattern serves for the front and it also serves for the back of the skirt. So we'll cut it out now. Remember our joining allowance is here, okay, and our zip allowance. When you want to do the one for the back, okay, when you want to do the one for the back, we'll open it for the zip allowance. Let me draw the one for the back so that we can all see. When you want to put the one for the back, I'll put it at the back of this. The one for the back, okay, we'll do it the same way, but this time around we'll open up the zip allowance. This time around we'll open up the zip allowance. Okay, we'll open up the zip allowance and spread. Okay, we'll open up the zip allowance and spread. We use our tape to hold down. We use our tape to hold down till we get to the end here. Then we now come and we'll trace. We'll mark out, this is our zip allowance here. Now come out and we'll trace. Remember, this is our knee. This is our zip allowance, and this will trace from here. And this is how we do the one for the back. There we go. And we take off all these ones. And that's how we get the ones for the back. If you notice, this is your zip allowance here. So we'll measure our zip allowance, which was 1.5 inches. Okay, we'll measure our zip allowance, which is 1.5 inches. Okay, and we'll draw it all the way down to the end. Okay, so that's the way to do the back. So let's cut out. Now we're going to be cutting out the front pattern. Okay, we'll cut out the front pattern. Okay, so now we're going to be, this is our knee here. Let's not forget, because this point is very, very important, our knee. So now we're going to get out our fabric that we're going to use for our lining. This is going to be the main fabric. This part, we're going to put it on the main fabric, but the one we're going to use for our lining, we're going to cut it our normal skirt measurement. So I'm going to get out that fabric now, get it ironed, that's the lining, and show you how we're going to go about it. Okay, so this is my lining. Now I'm going to mark out my exact measurement, the exact measurement of the person. Okay, and the measurements are waist. We're starting from, we're leaving 1/2 inch for joining here. So the measurement is waist, which is 9.5. Okay, then we come down by 9 inches to the hips. Okay, then the hip is 11.5. Okay, then the mid calf, that's the mid calf where we started from. Okay, let's take the knee. The knee is at mark 22. Okay, so we take the midpoint, the mid lap. Okay, the mid lap, that's the midpoint between the knee and the hip, and that gives us 10. That's 10. Okay, 10. So this is our knee is at 22. Knee is at 22. The length of the skirt, the length of the bottom of the dress, okay, is 28, and we add 2 inches for folding allowance. That's 30. So now we can join this part. Okay, this is our hip. This is our calf, this is our knee, and this is the length of the dress, the length of the bottom part of the dress. Okay, so now we're joining the same way we joined it before we did the slash and spread. It's the same way we're going to join it here. Okay, then this goes all the way down from the knee. Okay, we're going to be putting our allowances. We're going to be using allowances of 1.5 inches for this part here. So we're just putting our cutting and sewing allowance. And we join. My chalk is so tiny today. Okay, so there we go. So this is for the front. This is for the front pattern because the front is on a double fold. Okay, we folded it into 2. So now we're going to now draft for the back. So let's go ahead and cut out the front pattern. This is our line. So done cutting the front. This is the front here. Remember, it's into two, it's folded into two. So now we're going to arrange for the back. We're going to use this to cut for the back. This is the zip allowance here. This side here, we'll be leaving zip allowance of 1.5 inches, like how we left it on the pattern paper. We'll place this on it. Place the front on the back. This is our zip allowance here, 1.5 inches exactly. Just holding it down a bit. Okay, so now it's time to cut. There we go. So this is the back and this is the front. This is the back. Let me just cut this piece here. This is the back and this is the front. Okay. So this is my fabric that I'm using. Okay. This is the fabric that I'm using. This is for the front pattern. I've folded it double. Okay. And now I'm going to put this material, the main material, the pattern on the main material, and cut it out. Just go ahead and see how I'm cutting it out. Okay. So there we go. Just slash it open here. So I'll go ahead and notch the mid knee calf, the mid lap, okay, and the knee part, okay, the knee. I'll notch those two places. So we can see this is the skirt pattern. So basically what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to take our lining, okay, which is for the front. Okay, before then we're going to join in the middle here. I'm going to join these two main patterns. Okay, I'm going to join it in the middle. I'll bring it back, then we'll now start sticking them. We'll now start pinning it onto the lining. Okay, let me join the two. So I've joined it now. I'm just going to give it a good press. Okay, good press. So I open up all the seams. Open up all the seams, the whole seam, and I'll give it a good press all the way down. Okay, make sure that the knee measurement where you notch it, they align with each other. Okay. So I have to give it a good stretch. Now is that we have to take this our front measurement now, our lining. Okay, remember our notch. We'll take our front lining now, and remember our notch for the knee. We'll not notch this one, and for the mid lap. Okay, so these two must align. Okay, these two must align when we start our ruching. These two must align. The main part of the work now. So we can see this is our knee here. This is our knee here. So our knee must align here. Okay. lap. So our mid lap must align here, and we're going to use our pin. This is where we're going to use our pins come into play. Okay, we get our pin. So we get our pin and start pinning down. Okay, we pin down our knee measurement where our knee is, knee point here, and we come here also, and we pin down. Make sure this center point is in the center here. Okay, it's arrangement that will make it look nice. And where is our knee measurement here? That's why they must align. Our knee measurement here, our mark for our knee is here, and the mark for the mid is right here. Okay, so we get our pin. Remember that we've notched it. This should be in the middle. This part should be in the middle. Okay. What matters now is the arrangement. So we'll pin this down the middle like this. Okay. And this is pinned down like this. Good. So now, basically what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be folding. We'll start from the top here. We'll put the top of this right here. Okay, the top of it, and we have to fold all this. We have to divide all this to go inside this, inside the lining. So we're gonna start. We'll start with pinning down. Okay, we pin down from the top here, and we start pushing it. Can we say this? This is where your pins have to come into play here. Continue pinning down. You pin and follow the pattern of the lining. They can be uneven. They don't necessarily have to be even spaces. They can be uneven. Remember that we did 2 inches when we're cutting the pattern, but it can be uneven to give it a nice square. You can start from the bottom here also. But whatever side you are facing, if you are facing this side, let's say one side, if you are facing the other side, you are facing down, the pleats are facing down. So we all face down. But remember that you're pinning on the lining, so we keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on pinning. Pinning. You can have as many as possible. Oops, we've pinned something down we shouldn't have. of the skirt. Now we're going to go to the other side of the skirt. Okay, we're going to go to the other side of the skirt, but also you see how it's aligned on one side. That's the same way the number of pleats that we've done on one side, we'll try and align it to this other side. As you can see, this side is already done, so let's go ahead to the other side. When I'm done pinning the other side, I'll show you. We just start the same way we started here. Just make sure the middle is in the midpoint of the lining. Okay, the middle is in the midpoint of the lining, and at the bottom here. Okay, before we start pinning. Now it's more visible to see. Then we start pinning. Let's pin this one middle down. So I finished pinning the second side, and we can see it now. It looks so beautiful, so beautiful. There we go, there we go. This is it. And basically what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to go ahead and pin the back. After I'm done pinning the back, then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew up all these corners. Sew them up to be able to hold down these pleats. Okay, after I've done holding down the pleats, I'll do the same for the back. Okay, and I'll come back and show you. To knitting it, you can as well go and weave everything, especially at the back. If you see, this is the back, this is the main skirt. Okay, this is the main skirt pattern at the back. I hope you can all see it very well. This is the main skirt pattern at the back. So I'm just going to go and sew down all of this part here. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I've pinned down the back. Okay, this is the back here, if you can see it very well. Okay, so I'm going to go and sew it down. Okay, and I've pinned down the other side of the back. Okay, so quickly I'll go to my sewing machine, pin it down, join these two sides together with the allowance. Okay, this is the zipper allowance, and now join it to the front part of it. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, subscribe, click on my channel, subscribe, like my video, share your comments, ask your questions. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.